lot of you out there think you should put crash bars on your motorcycle or frame sliders. Like, that's going to help keep your bike safe should you low side or crash on your bike. But I'm going to tell you, you see, I don't have it on my bike, guys. I never had any frame sliders or crash bars on any of my bikes, guys. I'm going to tell you why frame sliders, crash bars, and things like that are actually dangerous for you, and why you shouldn't waste your money on them. Stay tuned.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
Before I tell you why frame sliders and crash bars are actually dangerous to put on your bike, make sure you're wearing the gear to stay safe out there. And I have links to all of my gear, like my favorite helmet, ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet. It comes with an automatic tint shield, my motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep you safe, gauntlet gloves, pants, boots. Links to all my gears in the description and comment section of this video. I know some of you guys stunt on your MT-07 or whatever motorcycle you have, and you get to put the crash bars on there to help protect it should you drop your bike. I'm going to tell you guys, if I will say this, first off, I'll give a positive about the crash bars. First off, if you use the bike only for stunt riding, okay, you're riding out in parking lots, you're doing slow speed, you're doing wheelies and stuff like that, stoppies, you know, you're stunting on the bike and you're using it only as a stunt bike. That's the key. Only as a stunt bike. Then by all means, get the frame slider, get a crash bar. You can get that to help, because, you know, obviously you drop your bike doing a wheelie and stuff like that. That'll help protect it with the crash bars. But if it's your regular bike that you ride out here on the streets with, and you don't want to mix stunt riding. If you're doing some serious stunt riding, you don't want to mix your regular bike, you know, as a stunt bike. You want to have like a separate bike for stunt riding, guys, because if you ride with crash bars on your bike, and say you go down at speed, you do a low side at speed, the crash bars will actually catch on the imperfections of the road, say a pothole or whatever out here, and it can actually flip the bike and cause even more damage. I've seen it happen more times than I care. I mean, even like, especially on the highway too, you do a low side or you crash on the highway and you're going at a very fast rate of speed, that bike is going to hit that road, going to catch something on that road, boom, 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 it's going to flip the bike.
Actually, the crash bar and frame slider connection points to the frame, it's going to put a lot of stress on those areas when the bike goes down, and this could cause more damage to the frame than it would without the crash bars and frame sliders.
But out here on the street, especially on these nasty streets of Cleveland, Ohio, we got all kind of tar snakes, potholes, and everything else. And you got crash bars or frame sliders, and you go down, baby, it's going to catch and flip that bike, man. It's really dangerous. It's going to actually cause more damage to your motorcycle, to be honest with you. It's not really going to protect it. Like I said, I would only use those things for dedicated track or stunt bike. Dedicated, only for that type of riding. So many of you guys get caught up, you know, with worrying about your fairings on your expensive super bikes or whatever, your fairing getting damaged or whatnot. To me, I'd rather have a fairing that gets damaged than to have the bike flip and the frame gets bent or something. Okay, the frame gets bent, that's a wrap. It's pretty much it's a write-off. It's wrap. It's a total bike at that point. Okay, as where a side fairings on the side, it'll probably cost you probably less than $1,000. If it's a Ducati, it'll be expensive as hell. If it's a Kawasaki H2 or something, it's gonna be expensive as hell to replace that. It's ridiculous. But I'd rather be able to just replace the fairings than a frame. Okay, frame's bit. The insurance company's gonna write it off. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be riding out here with a bent frame anyhow, man. Another good tip for you, what I did when I had a CBR 1000RR and the 600RR, what I would do is actually, soon as I got the bike brand new, I would take the OEM fairings off, and I would buy I would get a set of custom aftermarket Chinese fairings. You can even get them customized to your liking, special paint jobs, put your name on it, do whatever you want. Your own custom look on your bike for cheap. Like, I don't know what they're running now, but back then they were like $500 or less. Oftentimes you can give it $300-400, and the quality, although is not as good as the OEM fairings, from the out looking at it, the paint, it'll be fine. It'll look good, okay? And if you crash the bike, it's Chinese fairings. Who cares if the fairings get messed up? You can actually get replacements for dirt cheap, much cheaper than you would with OEM fairings. But the problem that I had is I stored my OEM fairings in the attic, and when I went to get them, actually a mouse had gotten there and had tore up the fairings. So if you're gonna store them, you better be very careful. Put some mothballs in there or something to keep pests out of there from tearing your fairings up. Make sure they're protected good, man. But that just happened one time, and I've had many sets of aftermarket fairings, and they looked awesome. You saw it. You know, I did many videos on Chinese fairings, on how I loved them when I had sport bikes. And so, yeah, don't worry about damaging your fairing or anything. It's not a big deal, especially on this MTL7, dude. The plastics on these things are so cheap, it's not even funny, man. I mean, very inexpensive to replace the side, like, tank cover. And this has got, what's awesome about this, and the CBR 1000 RR and 600 RR that I had, is actually has a tank cover. So it's not the tank, the fuel tank won't actually get damaged. It's just the outer shell, and it's very inexpensive to replace. So don't worry about it on your MT-07 or your MT-09. It's not a big deal. They're pretty. I think the MT-09 may have a fuel tank. I don't know, but the MT-07 has a tank cover, and so don't worry about it, guys. Unnecessary. Don't waste your money on those mods. And yeah, I did a video on mods that are a waste of money. I'll include a link in the top right corner here. Go check it out. You know, really, to be honest with you, with this MTL7 and a lot of other bikes, all you really need to do to this bike is put a fender eliminator kit on and a slip on. That's all you really need to do. I did all the mods on this bike, you know, the air box and all that. I flashed the ECU on this, and I modded the airbox and stuff like that. And honestly, I didn't really gain that much, guys. It really probably wasn't even really worth it. Like I said, you don't go blowing all your money on mods, man. Just a fender eliminator kit and a slip-on, you'll be good with the MTL7, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because even in stock form, the MTL7 is good, but I had to put an aftermarket exhaust, because the stock exhaust is way too quiet, and it saves a lot of weight. But anyways, guys, if you want to see the video where I did my build series on this MTL7, go check it out. I'll include a playlist in the top right corner. Make sure to hit thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my videos release. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.